The Martian landscape of Sector 7G looked grainy, the kind of picture your average flat-earther would jump on and scream fake. Dr. Yuki Tanaka in one of the observation rooms watching the display closely. The images were pieced together from all perspectives, giving one grand image that no one drone could have provided. Dr. Robertson, she called into the intercom, her voice tight with excitement, the drone miners definitely uncovered something that looks fabricated. Dr. Carl Robertson's voice crackled back, tinged with equal parts enthusiasm and caution. Understood. I'm on my way. As Tanaka waited for her colleague to arrive, her mind raced with the implications of their discovery. The object, as far as what they had uncovered so far, was angular. She tried her best not to picture it as a wingtip, even though that is exactly what she kept seeing in it. Dating things on Mars was a new science, but preliminary results stated the object as old based on the carbonization in the crater that the current theory suggested was caused by re-entry. Robertson arrived, slightly out of breath from the short jog across the Martian base. "My God," he breathed, taking in the sight. Tanaka nodded, her expression excited. "The preliminary seismic scan indicates it's part of something huge. And the current suggested age is thousands of years old." Dr. Tanaka took control of one of the drones to scan a wider area and add more to the view as Dr. Roberts took control of a drone miner to begin more careful excavation around the object. Back on Earth, in a heavily guarded auditorium in Washington, D.C., President Albert Chambers stood before a gathering of the world's top engineering firms, scientific labs, and aerospace industry leaders. The atmosphere was electric with anticipation. "Ladies and gentlemen," Chambers began, his voice carrying the weight of history, "today marks a new chapter in humanity's journey to the stars. After careful consideration and in light of the growing challenges we face, the United States and its allies have decided to release certain technologies that will allow for the Earth-based construction of advanced spacecraft. The technologies we have acquired from our initial outings into the wormhole and beyond will allow for easier departure and entry into the atmosphere." A murmur of excitement rippled through the crowd. Chambers continued, "This decision was not made lightly. But the threats we face, both known and unknown, demand that we pool our resources and expertise. The plans and specifications you're about to receive will allow us to dramatically increase our shipbuilding capacity." As the video displays flickered to life around the auditorium, showcasing designs that merged human ingenuity with adapted alien technology, the attendees burst into animated discussions. The implications were staggering. Within months, shipyards around the globe could be producing vessels far more advanced than anything currently in Earth's fledgling fleet. Dr. Elena Reyes, seated in the front row, couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and unease. The technology they were about to unleash had been hard-won, through both human perseverance and, as they now knew, Molnari manipulation. As she studied the schematics, her trained eye could pick out elements that were clearly of alien origin, seamlessly integrated with human designs. As the presentation continued, detailing the new materials, propulsion systems, and other ship systems that would soon be entering mass production, Reyes couldn't shake the feeling that they were accelerating down a path from which there was no return. She noted a lack of weapons and stealth technology and wondered what else the government was keeping to itself. Meanwhile, President Chambers announced his plan for an economic proposal to offer grants and subsidies to any company wanting to engage in aerospace construction. In addition, there would be subsidies and grants available for those wanting to venture into space and help start humanity's first system-to-system trade routes. In the depths of space, the Audacity slipped silently through a wormhole, emerging in a sector of space uncomfortably close to known Mizoan territory. On the bridge, Captain Emily Shaw studied the long-range sensor readouts with a mixture of focus and apprehension. "Status report," she called out, her voice steady despite the tension evident in her posture. Lieutenant Richard Baker responded promptly from his station. "All systems nominal, Captain. Stealth systems are functioning at peak efficiency. No signs of Mizoan activity in our immediate vicinity." Shaw nodded, her eyes never leaving the main view screen. "The Molnari said they were active in this system. Passive scans for signals and signs of technology." As the Audacity cautiously made its way deeper into the system, the crew couldn't help but feel the weight of their responsibility. They were the eyes and ears of Earth, probing the intentions and capabilities of a species that had already shown a willingness to trade in human lives. "Captain," called out the sensor officer, excitement evident in her voice, "I'm picking up some unusual energy readings from the third planet in the system ahead. It could be a Mizoan outpost or research station." Shaw leaned forward, her mind racing through potential scenarios. "Helm, Plot a course that will give us a clear scan without risking detection. We need to know what we are dealing with here. As the Audacity maneuvered into position, Shaw couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking a razor's edge. One wrong move could expose them to the Mizoans, potentially sparking a conflict that Earth was ill-prepared to handle. Light years away, the Prometheus and Defiant moved in perfect synchronization, their stealth systems rendering them all but invisible against the backdrop of space. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Captain Marcus Carter and his counterpart from the Defiant, Captain Michael Davis, were engaged in a discussion via secure comlink. Passive scanning only and short-range communication only from this point forward. Davis was saying, his face creased with concern. If we get detected, the Defiant will be the diversion. The Prometheus has to line up for a shot. Carter nodded, understanding. I have had our weapons team drill a few times a day. When the time comes, we will respond efficiently. As they debated their next move, Lieutenant Adam Odom spoke up from his sensor station. Captain, I'm detecting a Busnar convoy approximately 2 light-years from our position. Composition appears to be one heavily armed ship escorting several lightly armed cargo vessels. Carter and Davis exchanged glances. This could be exactly what they were looking for, a target of opportunity that would allow them to gauge the effectiveness of Earth's latest weaponry against Busnar defenses. Plot an intercept course, Carter ordered, his voice tight with the gravity of the decision. But maintain maximum stealth. We observe only until we're absolutely certain we can engage without being detected. As the two ships adjusted their trajectory, the crews felt the weight of their mission pressing down upon them. They were about to cross a line, from passive observation to active engagement. The consequences of their actions could reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. Deep beneath the Ural Mountains, in the partially rebuilt secret facility, General Viktor Volkov stood before a bank of monitors as he waited for their Mizoan ally to answer the call. After a lengthy wait, the reptilian appeared on the video link. In heavily accented Russian, I did not expect to hear from you so soon. How are our human friends? Dr. Andrei Kuznetsov glared at the display, already finding disgust with their reptilian ally. We are having issues adapting your technology, and one of our scientists experimented on your power core. We would like to procure more power cores. The Mizoan licked his lips and nodded. 100 people, preferably younger than last time, on average a mix of male and female also, and we will accommodate you. The general recoiled at this new request. He had expected them to want more humans, it's what they asked for last time. But now younger and females included. His mind started to piece together what that could mean. He had to force the thoughts out of his mind so he could do his duty. I will talk to my superiors in Moscow and contact you again when I have approval on what you require. The Mizoan smiled more toothily and then faded from the display screen. Dr. Kuznetsov felt his stomach turn at the Mizoan's expression but didn't dare speak out for fear of becoming one of the 100. Back in Washington, D.C., President Chambers sat in the Situation Room, surrounded by his top military and scientific advisors. The holographic display at the center of the table showed the rough positions of Earth's ships, the Audacity near Mizoan space, the Prometheus and Defiant deep in Busnar territory, and the various other vessels scattered throughout the solar system. Meanwhile, at the Lunar Orbital Station, a new ship was starting to take shape. With the lessons learned from building the Prometheus, from upgrading the ships donated by the Loxus, and the flurry of advancements that had been learned, traded for or expanded on since the first wormhole opened, this new ship would be as big a leap of technology as the Prometheus was on the ships before it. Months ago, Ambassador Harlock had made a discreet visit to Earth and met with General Madison. It was the first time the general had ever done anything he thought was questionable. In the meeting, the Molnari explained more of their hopes and spoke openly about strategies and realities. It was in that meeting that General Madison had settled on his idea to start privateer actions. Also decided on that day were other plans. Madison was well aware the Molnari were using him, but they had given up more technology, claiming they thought the humans could do something the other species of the galaxy could not. That meeting led to the orders that the Phoenix and Prospector had worked at breakneck speeds to reroute asteroids toward the Mars Orbital Station and the Lunar Orbital Station. Madison had manipulated information going to the president about the nature of operations at both stations, making the lunar station look better able to handle resources due to its proximity to Earth, while downplaying how useful the Mars Orbital Station was. This allowed him to start secret projects at the Mars Station, or rather a single very large secret project at the Mars Station. The new construction was a stealth base that General Madison hoped to use as a supply hub for stealth ships for his privateer campaign against the Busnar and Mizoan threats. It wouldn't be able to do production or processing as those operations would ruin the stealth capabilities, but as a supply base it would be nearly impossible to find floating between the orbits of Pluto and Neptune. A refuge for privateer ships in case the Busnar start probing the system or become more aggressive. As it began to take shape one large piece at a time, the Molnari sent engineers to help fine-tune the system so it would be able to serve as a sensor and communications station for the system at large. The skeleton crew of the station and the construction teams at the Mars facility had been told it was all just a secret project not to be discussed outside of departments. General Madison's plan being to beg for forgiveness instead of asking for permission if caught and hoping a court